If you're someone who's waiting for your manifestation to show up and you want to collapse times like 100 times faster and receive your manifestation as fast as the speed of light, like really now, you want to watch this. Because let me tell you this, your manifestation is not delayed. It's already here. Yes, it's already here. It's done. According to science and religion, nothing is created nor destroyed. Everything is already here and the creation is finished. There is nothing more to be created. Everything is here, right now. And that's the reason why you could tap into that frequency in another dimension and really saw it in your imagination, because you saw something that was already here. You cannot see something which doesn't exist, because when you think, you're thinking on a frequency, and that thing is already here. That's why you became aware of it. So how can you call it in your life 100 times faster, since it's already here? You're not waiting for it. It's waiting for you. Really, it's waiting for you. So what you want to understand is that we manifest things based on what we are a match for. So our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Whatever is going on within us, we reflect in the outside. Anything that you think about you believe about you feel about you will see the proof over and over again. If you believe you're beautiful, you will see other people telling you you're so beautiful. If you believe you're not that beautiful, you will see the proof. Whatever you believe to be true about you, that is your truth. Now, what you want to understand is that we have got energetic set points, almost like magnetic attraction points. They're like codes, right? If you think of a computer program, it has different codes. Code for this file, code for this. We have code for every aspect of our life. And that code is our belief, what we really believe to be true about ourselves. And based on what that code is, it has an attraction point. And that's how the outer reality is reflected based on that code, based on what there is in that energetic set point. And you cannot outperform that energetic set point. So you have a specific code, energetic set point, a threshold for money. And that is reflected to you as a fixed number in your bank account every single month. What you attract every single month, that is a threshold that you have got to. It's like a temperature. That's the temperature you have. So let's really understand this through the example of, let's say you're sitting in your house and it's so cold, it's snowing outside and it's super cold. And you have turned the heating on and the heating is really nice and it's nice and warm and you're watching TV. And all of a sudden, your partner or one of your children go out and they leave the door open. And you're like, close the door, it's so cold. Why did you leave the door open? And now you're starting to feel the wind. It's starting to get cold. The temperature is going down. And then all of a sudden, what you notice is that the thermostat in your heating system will increase the heating system to match the temperature where you set it. So the temperature in your house will come back to that. And by the time you close the window and come back to your sofa or your couch, like I did, you angrily and biting your teeth, already the temperature would have started going up. This is how your energetic set point works. So anytime you start to outperform it, the temperature start to go up and down, it activates and bring it back to where it was. It tells your nervous system to change your behavior. So when this research was done, there was a study done on lots and lots and lots of salespeople, and they were seeing that they had a certain target for their sales every year, and they used to do it the same every year. Every year they used to do same. So let's take an example of like a salesperson doing $1 million every year, million sales, $1 million worth of sales every year. 1 week he attended this seminar. He got very motivated, inspired. He's like, I'm gonna sell more. I'm really motivated. I can change my life. I will bring more numbers, more money in. And then he started selling more. And in 1 weekend after the seminar, he sold 250K, like $250,000. So the nervous system, the energetic set point, the program, the mental program, whatever you want to call it, the threshold of 1 million, his mental program realized that he's crossing it. If he keeps going with the same speed, he's going to cross it. He's going to go more than 1 million, way more than 1 million, right? You know what happened? He fell sick. So I see this over and over again. You've seen it in a lot of people around me, even in my clients, they're like, I'm starting to feel sick. I'm starting to feel so nervous. I'm starting to feel this. And what starts to happen is our nervous system change our behavior without even us realizing. Like, we don't even realize that we are procrastinating. We don't even realize sometimes that we are self-sabotaging. And that's what a lot of people call self-sabotage behavior. That you start to get in your own way, and that mental program starts to control you, right? Because it controls you 98% anyway on autopilot. You run on autopilot. So if you're somebody who's blaming yourself for procrastinating, or who's blaming yourself for not doing enough, the key is it's not your fault. It's on autopilot. The key to change all of this is to change your mental program, which is running you on autopilot, so that on autopilot you can manifest what you want. Once you change the target, the energetic code for that program, it will take you on autopilot to a different destination where you want to be. So instead of fighting yourself and beating your mental program and really picking a fight with it because it controls you, it's your program, like you cannot expect a laptop to perform at a different level, or iPhone 14 to perform like iPhone 16, whatever. So at that level, you cannot expect your mental program to perform at a higher level until you change it. So let's just change it. Let's not fight it. The more you fight it, the more you reinforce the old patterns, because you get so emotionally involved and focus on the old pattern, you bring life into them even more, right? So let's change it. And this is the most powerful technique to manifest anything you want. Change your mental program, set a new destination for the GPS. Once you set the destination, it will take you on autopilot. It will give you all the directions. Your subconscious mind will make you do whatever is required. You will do those things on autopilot. You'll feel like doing this and you'll feel like doing this. So I want to give you an example of my personal life. When I wanted to be a coach, at that time, my mental program and my identity was that I am an employee trying to be a coach. And I saw myself as somebody who's trying. And for 2 years, I kept on trying, and I tried 8 different strategies, and I failed every single time. Because I was trying, and my identity was, and my mental program was, I'm trying. So it made sure I'm just trying. That's the address in the GPS. Where would you go? Even if you drive 16 hours, if the address is wrong, you'll still end up there, right? That was the things that happening with me. So what I did was, I started to shift my identity. And I said, who am I? I'm a successful coach. When I started to do that, and I'm going to share with you my process, the most powerful technique, but when I decided to do that, I was called to go live and teach. I was called to make YouTube videos. I was called to do what coach does, teach, right? I was called to share my knowledge, to document my journey, to post, to do all the things, to start receiving clients, to not be scared doing discovery calls, right? And what I realized was that once I took on that identity, I on autopilot did what a coach does. So what would a coach do? The thing that a normal coach does, right? What would a runner do? Runner would run. What would a coach do? Teach. So when I shifted my identity and implanted that identity in my mind and in my identity, in my body, I started to act different. But before that, I was trying so many things, but I was hiding behind the strategy. I was saying, this will be the strategy that will just help me impact more lives, make more income, make more impact. But it wasn't the strategy. I am the strategy. My identity is the strategy. Because when I did that, I was called to do certain things. I felt like doing certain things naturally. And I kept doing them. I kept listening to my heart. I kept listening to my intuition. And when I look back, I did the whole strategy without realizing what I was doing, because I was doing it on autopilot. So isn't it beautiful that you don't have to force things on you? You don't have to discipline. You don't have to beat yourself up. You can just start to do things on autopilot once you shift your identity, once you shift how to see you. So how do we do that? I teach this in my program, Wealth Fountain, where we go through a beautiful process, breakthrough method, where we have 5 incredibly powerful tools where you really uncover your identity at the deepest level. Most of the time when we do that, my clients become aware of more than 100 of the patterns that are not serving them, that are self-sabotaging them, that are in their codes, which are not in the right destination, which needs reprogramming, right? So you need deep level of awareness. I'm going to share with you at a higher level how you can gain that awareness. The way you can gain it is you can start to observe yourself. You can start to ask yourself, who am I? How do I really see me? What is my perception of me? What do I think of me? What is my perception about money? What is my perception of my capability to attract a lot of money? Who am I? How do I feel around rich people? What do I think about rich people? What do I think about my success? Do I identify as a successful whatever you are trying to become or not? Or am I trying? I'm in the trying identity. So it is really about deep awareness. And in Wealth Fountain, we have very, very systematic tools which take you there, where even your body starts talking to you and tell you where your different limiting beliefs are stored. where your throat is telling you that you're not speaking what you really want to speak, and why it is, and where is it coming from, where your heart is telling you that you're not loving yourself enough. So when you start thinking about money and receiving abundance, and really imagine you're checking your bank account right now. You're opening on your phone, or you're just opening on your laptop or your computer and you're checking your bank account. Where do you feel a bit of sensation in your body? Is it in your belly? Is it in your heart? Is it in your throat? Is it in your shoulder? Is it in your back? So when you do that, your body is communicating to you in terms of sensations. And what you want to do is you want to pick it up. Your body is speaking to you all the time, and that's where your identity, your perception of yourself is stored. It's no more a subconscious program. It's an unconscious now. It's a memorized behavior in your body. It's stored there. Your body has learned it. That's why reprogramming your mind is not enough. That's why manifesting is not just about mind. It's an identity thing. You manifest who you are, what you're conscious of being. And the beauty is you don't need to change you, because in your truth, you are the greatest ever masterpiece on the planet. The key is to changing the way you see you, and that's effortless, that's quick, that's instant, that's fast. But you need to become aware. How do you really see you? What is your perception of you? And when you start to become aware of that and add different things to your identity based on what they serve you, based on your truth. So when I did this work with one of my private clients, and he wrote his identity in such a beautiful way, like who he really was and what really feel aligned to him, and all of a sudden his sales started to explode, his business started to change. He would be incredible at negotiations, and his business literally doubled in a month. And he said to me, how I became that, like how I started seeing myself differently, how I became aware of that version, like what happened. And I said to him, I gave you all the tools, but you know what? Deep down, you knew who you really were. So your soul knows who you really are. You know who you really are. So when you start to really step in your truth and say, who am I? That's when it's not about just visualizing for 5 minutes. It's about, this is who I am. This is me. And when that thought becomes the knowing, the identity, this is who I am, you become a match. And that frequency, you tuned in, and it comes to you as fast as the speed of light, because your outside world is a reflection of who you think you are. What do you perceive about yourself? And just thinking abundant thoughts, just visualizing and journaling won't cut it. It's about uncovering at a deeper level, at a core of your level. What did you pick up? Because when you were a baby, when you were born, all the conversations around you about money, about everything were going right in your subconscious. You were not even aware. Like you were sleeping, you were probably snuggled up sleeping, but you could hear the money conversation. You could hear how hard it is to earn money and all those things, all that crap. Like you learned your native language. What is a native language? Your native language is a program that you learned because it was spoken around you over and over and over again. When you hear somebody speaking Chinese, you might be thinking, oh, that's a very difficult language. How did you learn it? So that's the program they were exposed to since they were born. That's how it's so easy for them. So like you learned your native language, you learned a language of money. And that language is controlling you. That language is dictating your reality. And when you start to alter that program on autopilot, we became that version of ourselves. And it's no more about that's what I'm visualizing or wishing or hoping. It's about this is who I am. This is what is my truth. And when that thing becomes your truth, not from the place of acting as if, but becoming who you really are, because I tell my clients, you are acting right now because you don't know who you are. I think you have to uncover it. But in order to uncover it, first of all, we have to uncover what do you think you are now, because that's what you are not. Right? So once you start to uncover what you think you're not and what you think you really are, and we start to shift it and step into your truth, and I call this in my world the breakthrough method, which I teach in my programs. And the first thing is the awareness. So start asking yourself this question. Who am I? Who am I? And you'll find all the answers. This is where your greatest manifestation gems are hidden. Your biggest magnets for you, because in the truest version, the most truest version of you is a match for your wildest dreams. And that's why you have those dreams in the first place, because your soul desires that you become who you really are, and you release those shackles and you get rid of all those things that are holding you back. So who are you? Who do you really are? Who you really are?